Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Monday morning and welcome to our vlog series. It's a mini series within a series within a bigger series, and we're continuing to look at the book, reading between the lines. But the last few vlogs have been focusing in on the Pharisees and how Jesus dealt with these individuals, these religious people. So who were they? These were the Pharisees, and they twisted God's word. They'd made it difficult for people to follow God. They'd added in their own man-made rules. They'd made it hard, and they'd placed a barrier in between people and God, basically. Jesus called them lots of things in the previous verses that we've seen. He called them hypocrites, blind guides, serpents, vipers, murderers, whitewashed tombs. Jesus called them out straight, didn't he? And I love that Jesus was a straight talker. Gordon says that I could never work for the UN. And I have to agree, I probably couldn't. But I like to think I take it from Jesus. He calls it for what it is. He just says it straight. And I love that Jesus didn't mince with his words. So after Jesus calls these Pharisees hypocrites and murderers, it says this, and this is the verse we're looking at today. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, you who kill the prophets and stone those sent to you. How often I have longed to gather you, children, together, as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, but you were not willing. We see Jesus' brutal, honest words straight at the Pharisees about their hypocrisy and the way that they're stopping people from coming to know God. And we see that Jesus had every right to wipe off these religious people out of the earth, so to speak. And what's interesting is, as you read the Bible and as you study God's word, you get to know what God's like. You get to understand God's character. And you could easily read over these words and think nothing much to it. But you see in these verses that as you dig in deep, you get to see what God's character is like. And we see that even though the Pharisees are evil, even though they've been murderers and hypocrisy, we see that grace has the final word. What does Jesus say? Even though they killed the prophets, Jesus says, how often have I longed to gather you? As a hen gathers her children under her wings, we see that that's God's heart of compassion and love. And what's interesting is these are the people that are stopping the ordinary man and woman on the street getting to know God. And here's God in human form with every right to blot them out. Yet we see love and compassion. And what a lovely picture it is of a hen gathering her children under her wings. We see a picture that's God's heart of love and compassion. He wants to protect, wants to provide, wants to gather people under their wings. Even though it says they were not willing, that's still God's heart of love and compassion. That's what we see Jesus as fully God coming to earth and saying, how often I'd longed to gather you, but you are not willing. And here there's a message for us as Christians today. We're called to be like Jesus. We're called to look past the sin and the evil that people do and to love people unconditionally. And that's God's love for everybody, regardless of what you've done, regardless of what you've been doing. God says, I love you and I want to transform your life. I want you to come into a personal relationship with God. That's what he wants to do, is gather people under his wings to himself. So let's be like Jesus today. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you all soon. God bless.